So let's talk a bit about QR code. A lot of this, what I've shown you, is based on the QR code. And it basically goes two ways. Tencent has made the QR code successful again, and the QR code has made Tencent successful. And that's very different from what we do here in the West. Because in the West, we didn't really like QR codes that much. And there was actually at one point somebody that set up a website, his own blog, that said pictures of people scanning QR codes. No post yet. Basically his way of saying, I think it was a marketing person, that they're rubbish and we don't like them. Of course, we don't like the aesthetic effect that they have if you put them in advertising, but we never really have learned how to use them very well. But in China, they're all over the place. So in China, already in 2015, you can see that 50% of the people that time already were frequently scanning QR codes. And in the rest of the world, there's very few people using that. But in China, you see them everywhere. So if you go shopping and you go to a storefront, you will see the QR code of that company there. Because they are trying to get followers on, for instance, their WeChat account by putting it there so prominently. It was also possible a couple of years ago for a company called Yihaodian. Yihaodian sells groceries online. And this was more like a buzz campaign than something really functional, but it did work. So you could go into a metro station and you would find a big poster with their fast-moving articles. And you could simply go by that poster and scan the QR codes. I need this one, I need this one, and I need this one, and order it online immediately. So that's what is happening here on this poster. When I was in Chongqing in August, I tried to scan as many QR codes as possible just to try things out. So this is one of those machines where you can grab a cuddly toy with one of those grabbing arms. Nowadays, you don't have to put any money in it. You can simply scan the QR code, or a massage chair. Or here, this is an orange juice machine. You scan the QR code and it squeezes out fresh orange juice for you. This is a phone charger that you'll find in some restaurants where you simply scan the QR code and then you can use the phone charger for an hour for 1 renminbi, so which is about 13 cents. And one of my favorites, the KTV box. So KTV, karaoke, is very popular in China. And normally people go to a KTV bar and they rent a room and they do a lot of singing with their friends. But now, if you really have the urge, if you really have the need, you can do it by yourself or with one other person, but just going into a KTV box. And I'm an enormous fan of KTV, so of course I had to try it. So I found one of those boxes, and you just go in, you scan a QR code, and you pay a certain amount, and you can sing 3, 4, 5 songs based on what you pay. And because you follow their account, they can send you messages, and you get the song that you sing yourself sent to your WeChat. So if you have friends that you really dislike, you can share your own songs by sending your songs to them. So who wants to hear me singing? Only 2 people, so? No? Yeah, okay. So I apologize in advance. So you get sent this own song. Yeah, see. This is the best one I did. I had to do 5 takes. So you get the idea, right? So this is also integration with QR code scanning and having things sent to yourself. Nowadays, when you go to a restaurant, you don't even have to wait for the waitress anymore, because you scan the QR code that's on the table, and the menu is already there, so you can order it and have it posted to you. My favorite breakfast in China is jianbing, which is like a pancake that you can have made by one of these ladies that you'll find in the street in the morning. And I don't need any more money, because I simply scan the QR code that she has on her telephone. And some street food sellers, they are actually putting up their QR code here. So if you buy a sweet potato in the street in the winter, you simply scan this person's QR code. And because so many people are using mobile payment nowadays, a lot of people don't have any cash on them anymore. So what do you do when you're a beggar? You need to have your own QR code because people don't have any change anymore. So this is how far it's gone. Now, I've quickly said something about Mobike, and this is another thing that has become really big in China, or what some people call the sharing economy. You can go into WeChat and then go into the Mobike app, and you can see where there are bikes that you can use. And those are not bikes that we sometimes know that are in a docking station, but they are everywhere, all over the place, and they are not locked into docking stations. So this is how it works.
The increased use of smartphones has paved the way for bike sharing. Unlike traditional public bike service, this one is much easier to use. You just need to scan the QR code, and then you will hear the sound of the lock opening. And there you go.
So, you just go up to any bike that's locked, you scan the QR code, and you can use that. And at the moment that you scan that QR code, you start paying for the rental of the bike. So as a matter of fact, they call it a sharing economy, but it's really bike rental, because it's not somebody else's bike, it's a company's bike. So this is just one of the examples. And this company, Mobike and Ofo, which is another very big one in China, they have created a wave of sharing/rental companies that are creating a lot of things that you can find out in the street to use. For instance, umbrellas. So if you go out and it starts raining and you forgot your umbrella, you can simply scan the QR code and then take this umbrella. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't return it. But these umbrellas, most of them were stolen. Most of the people like them so much that they never return them.
Question.
Yeah.
All right, they get stolen, right? But don't you see if they get stolen and you can take the money off their account?
Mm-hmm. They pay a deposit, so they don't get back that deposit. But what they did is they didn't make the deposit high enough. So the people thought, well, I'll keep this one and I don't need my deposit back. So this is like a sleeping cabin that you could just take an afternoon nap in there, or a power nap. This is also something that got banned, because to do something like this you actually need to have a hotel license. Also there were some questions about hygiene, and maybe if there's more people in there than just one person, what's going on? So these got banned. Another thing, cars. You can now actually rent a car, or just use a car by scanning the QR code, or a power bank. If your telephone is running out of power, you can scan a QR code and you can take out one of those banks, and you pay for the amount of time that you actually use it before you put it back. This is a very crazy one that appeared in Beijing over the summer. It's just a cabin, just like the KTV box, that has like fitness equipment inside. It doesn't have a shower, but you can go in there and you can just go on a treadmill for a couple of minutes to exercise a bit. Somebody also got the crazy idea. There's a lot of people standing at bus stops all of the time. Why don't we make rental stools? So people can scan the QR code and then they're allowed to sit on it. Actually, this turned out to be a marketing campaign. Basically, what they wanted to do is they wanted people to scan the QR codes and then follow their official account. But most of these also got stolen. So yeah.
The cabins for running.
Yeah.
Are they actually used by people? Because you're already outside, and if you plan to run, why don't you run outside and it's for free?
Have you ever been to China?
Never.
The pollution is not very nice to do outside running in some of the big cities. There's a very high pollution levels, so it's very unhealthy in certain times of the year to go out running. I also disappeared, but I haven't heard that they are successful yet. They might already be gone, because it's a crazy idea, right? Another thing was that one company started having sharing baseballs, so you could scan a QR code and then take a baseball out, and as long as you would use it, you would be paying for it. And then somebody thought, why don't we make the whole baseball court rentable as well? So they put a big fence around it, and actually now to come in you have to scan the QR code and you pay for the time that you spend on the baseball court. So This is going really, really crazy. Finally, there are shareable sex dolls. Anybody? So these were launched a couple of weeks ago. Fortunately, the company that started this, they promised that every time they would be reused, the underside would be changed. So it would come with a new underside, and maybe what they do with the other undersides, they put them in this big washing machine, this rentable, shareable washing machine. But fortunately, this is also a concept that very quickly got banned by the government. So thank God for some government regulations every now and then. I don't think that I can top the sex doll, so I'm going to leave it at this. If you have WeChat and you scan this QR code, then you can follow our account where we share a lot of information and articles. And you can find more videos and download ebooks and stuff on our website, chinatalk.nl. So thank you for your attention.